Hey YouTube, hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I'm bringing you another deck profile video on Ishizu Tearlaments, and today's video is going to be about the ban list that just dropped. Pretty much hitting this deck, or air quotes hitting this deck. So what I like to do when a new ban list drops is that I pretend it's already live and I just change the deck as to how I would want to play it if the ban list was live. And so I think that gives me a good opportunity to kind of play test what it's going to be like after the ban list drops. And by the time it drops, I already have a good idea of the changes I want to make and how the deck runs. So that's what this is going to be, is a deck profile on how I think I'm going to run the deck once the ban list hits. And also I have some replays specifically with this list you see here. So I took out Instant Fusion. I took out the second copy of Foolish Burial Goods. That's the only thing I changed from my last profile. And with those two extra spots, I put back in triple tactics. I didn't have to make the choice between Cyclone or triple tactics. So now I get to run both. I think that's an ideal situation actually, and it's been running pretty great. You'll see in the replays there was a replay where I didn't have instant fusion and my opponent did, and I still beat him very easily. So I think this deck is very pilot dependent and a little less on the specific your card resources that you have, like instant fusion versus no instant fusion. Obviously it helps when you see it, makes your plays that much better, but the deck does not need it. It's at full power still. So for a quick list, we have Orange Light, 3 Max C, Diviner for the Baron plays, maxing out on all of the Tearlament cards, maxing out on the Shizu cards. I am still on the Winda package. I do thoroughly enjoy the Winda package. You got to be careful with this. You can absolutely screw yourself over. If you summon Winda on your opponent's turn and then they break your board and leave your Winda, then you may be screwed over. So it makes the duel a little bit harder. So just be aware of that. But I think it's still a fantastic thing to run in the deck. Terraforming for the Broken Field spell, 1 Foolish Burial. It's all we're allowed to play now. Don't see it as often. It's nice when you see it. Triple Tactics is absolute MVP. Wins me so many games, or at least helps me in winning many games. Field spell, I never see it, but if I ever do, it's fantastic. 3 Scream, I'm still on 3 Scream. I like 3 Scream. I don't think I'll ever run less than 3 Scream. Just always nice to see, and usually you can discard it pretty easily if you get more than one copy. So, and then search your traps with it. Cyclone for the anti-meta, as well as just the mirror match, and against any other meta deck. There's a lot of good back row running around, so it's good for that. And Cyclone specifically because it banishes instead of destroys or sends back to the deck, so your opponent doesn't get a free search off of Solic, for example, if you Cyclone it. Pretty nice. Droplet for breaking boards. I feel like that's one of the biggest weak points of this deck, is that it can't break boards and swing over towers easily. So I run Droplet for that. It's been really nice. If you are new to the game, just know that Droplet, sending a Tearlaments card with Droplet does not trigger the Tearlament effect in the graveyard because it sends for cost. So just know that, but it does trigger your Ishizu cards. So either way, just really nice to have. 1 Crime, pretty great. Would never run more than 1. And Solic, I was running 3 Solic at one point, and no Crime. I think I like the 1 Crime, 2 Solic. But anyways, I feel like for the main deck, the biggest flex spots is the Beast, the 2 Cyclone, and the 2 Tactics, and probably the Diviner. The rest is pretty standard. Extra deck, running the Diviner, Target, Winda, the Heart and Soul of the deck, Kikalos, 2 Dragostapilia. I kind of touched on this in the last profile. I like 2 better than 1 because it allows me to loop it. So since the material requirements are 1 fusion monster and 1 dark monster, if my Dragosphere ever gets outed, it's in the graveyard, well, I can summon another one and shuffle the first one back into the deck. And so you can kind of just keep looping Dragostapilias like that, and or get 2 on the field at the same time. Since it's not once per turn, that's 2 negates. If you have a really good hand, you can do that. Very nice. Kalos, just solid card. It's got recursion, being sent with your Tearlament cards to the graveyard, and negates a summon, stops Nibiru, stops a lot of great stuff. Kaleido Heart, awesome, kind of your last Tearlament fusion you go for, but just super nice to have if you have a really good hand. Barone, no need to explain. Abyss Dweller, no need to explain. The Goose goes for crap hands where you only can get 2 level 4s and nothing else for stalling. Time Thief, I feel like it's best, honestly, to go into Zeus, right? Because you can keep stealing material and you can potentially get a 4 material Zeus out of this. The other effects have its use, even the Banish, but very niche. Zeus, again, pretty niche, kind of your emergency button. Dark, I originally kind of just threw this in here because I didn't really know what else to put for the 15th spot, and actually I'm liking it because as long as you have a dark monster and one other monster, that potentially is just an elf because it's a link 2, so you just summon back one of your opponent's monsters, dark monsters, and then there you go, you have elf. So it's kind of a way that you can get 2 monsters, including a dark monster, turned into an elf specifically, which is pretty nice. And elf is honestly, in my opinion, just so busted in this deck with the protection and also just summoning Merly and triggering that on your opponent's turn is pretty gross. Same with Diviner. You can summon Diviner and send an end test as an interruption, or an Shizu card as an interruption if they're not playing Tearlaments. You can just start milling their stuff on their turn. It's pretty annoying. So Elf is busted. And then Underworld Goddess, I'd rather run the out to the tower than running the tower with IP. I just think it gives the deck more versatility. And yeah, I like this card a lot. It's been pretty nice. So there's a deck profile. Pretty straightforward. Not too much has changed. I just wanted to show off what I'll be playing when the ban list officially drops and show a couple replays with this list in particular. So hope you enjoy. See you next time.